Skip this video if you're just searching for words that help you survive today, but leave tomorrow untouched. Skip it if you only want a temporary emotional lift, something that feels powerful for a moment and fades the moment real pressure returns. But if you are tired of going in circles, tired of asking God the same questions and getting the same silence, tired of feeling like you are growing aware but not growing forward, then stay. This isn't a message designed to comfort you. It's a message meant to confront what has been holding you back. Most people never pause long enough to understand the difference between motivation and transformation. Motivation works on emotions. It stirs feeling, creates urgency, and gives the impression of progress. But transformation works on identity. It reshapes how you think, respond, believe, and choose, even when no one is watching. Motivation tells you that change is possible. Transformation demands that you participate in it, even when it costs you familiarity, approval, or ease. The reason motivation is so popular is because it doesn't require surrender. You can feel motivated without changing your habits. You can feel inspired without changing your boundaries. You can feel hopeful without confronting the things you keep avoiding. Transformation, however, reaches into those hidden places. It requires honesty, humility, and patience. It asks you to face patterns you've justified, delays you've blamed on others, and wounds you've ignored because they were uncomfortable to acknowledge. This is why this message isn't meant for everyone. Many people want God to intervene, but very few want God to interrupt. They want Him to bless what already exists, not dismantle what needs to be rebuilt. But transformation often begins when God allows things to feel unstable, uncertain, or slow, because stability built on the wrong foundation will eventually collapse. God shakes what cannot support where He is taking you. If you've been feeling stuck, pay close attention to this. Being stuck doesn't always mean nothing is happening. Often it means God is working beneath the surface where growth is not visible yet. We live in a world that celebrates instant results, but internal change is slow and deliberate. God is far more interested in who you are becoming than how fast you arrive. And sometimes the delay is not denial, but development. Many people pray for movement while resisting maturation. They ask God to open doors while refusing to close unhealthy ones. They desire new seasons without releasing old mindsets. But God does not promote who we pretend to be. He grows who we are willing to become. That process can feel frustrating because it exposes your impatience, your need for control, and your desire to understand everything before you trust. Pain often becomes the catalyst for true transformation, not because God enjoys your suffering, but because pain has a way of silencing distractions. Pain forces reflection. It pushes questions to the surface that comfort keeps buried. When life hurts, you listen differently. You pray differently. You stop asking for convenience and start asking for meaning. And in that shift, transformation begins to take root. If the same patterns keep repeating in your life, the goal is not to blame yourself or feel ashamed. The goal is awareness. God repeats lessons because repetition produces depth. Some breakthroughs don't come from a dramatic miracle, but from understanding a lesson so deeply that you no longer return to what once trapped you. Growth happens when you outgrow the old pattern, not when the pattern disappears on its own. True transformation always requires the death of something familiar. That might be an old belief about yourself, an attachment you thought you needed, or an identity you built just to survive a past season. Letting go feels like loss because familiarity provides a false sense of safety. But what feels like loss in the moment is often space being created for something healthier, stronger, and more aligned with who you are becoming. If God feels distant right now, consider this perspective. Sometimes God reduces emotional reassurance so that trust can deepen. Faith that depends on constant emotional confirmation cannot survive pressure. God matures His people by teaching them to rely on truth rather than feeling, obedience rather than emotion. When you learn to move even when you don't feel close, your faith becomes anchored, not fragile. Transformation can be lonely. During seasons of internal change, you may find yourself less understood, less celebrated, and more quiet. This is not a sign of failure. It is often a sign that your priorities are shifting. Not everyone will recognize the growth happening within you, because transformation is internal before it becomes visible. Silence and solitude refine focus and remove noise that would delay progress. Everything begins to shift when your prayers change. When you stop asking God to rescue you from discomfort and start asking Him to refine you through it. When your prayers move from, "Why is this happening?" to, "What are you teaching me?" that's when clarity begins to replace confusion. The external may not change immediately, but internally, alignment is taking place. If you're still here, still listening, that means something in you resonates with this truth. Not because you have everything figured out, but because you're ready to grow beyond surface-level faith. You're ready to stop consuming motivation and start embracing transformation. That choice alone changes the direction of your life. This message was never meant to be easy. It was meant to be honest. Motivation fades when pressure returns, but transformation remains. And even if you can't see the results yet, the work happening within you right now is real. In time, it will become visible.